Everyone at some point has had to do homework. Some people have homework almost all the time. If you've ever had homework, you know homework can cause some negative effects on you. The amount of homework teachers give will often lead to stress, physical health problems, lack of balance in their lives, and alienation from society. This refers to high schoolers more specifically. Homework causes many negative effects on high schoolers and elementary students. When I was a child, my homework often caused me to have mental breakdowns and really lowered my self-esteem. Even in high school, I may not get mental breakdowns, but it does cause stress throughout the day. First, I'll be talking about the amount of time students should spend on homework. Second, I'll be talking about the amount of time they actually spend on homework. And lastly, I'll be talking about the negative effects the students receive from spending all the time on homework. To start us off, I'll be talking about the time students should spend on homework. There's a specific amount of time the average high school student should spend on homework. High school students are known to either spend a lot of time on their homework or they just copy off their friends' homework. According to a 2013 study, Non-Academic Effects of Homework in Privileged High School Performing High Schools by Molly Galloway, Joshua Connor, and Dennis Pope, between 90 minutes and 2.5 hours per night is optional in high school. Optimal. Any more than the suggested time for high school students can be counterproductive and also often leads to stress and other negative effects. However, the suggested time for elementary students is much different. According to a 2016 study called Is Too Much Homework Bad for Kids' Health, written by Sandra Levy, both the National Education Association, NEA, and the National PTA, NPTA, support a standard of 10 minutes of homework per grade level, and a setting of a general limit after high school studying. Also, according to that same study, for kids in first grade, that means 10 minutes a night, while in high school seniors get to 2 hours per night. Now that I've talked about the amount of time students are supposed to spend on their homework, I'll talk about the amount of time they actually spend on their homework. Most school students end up spending much more time on homework than they should. High school students are a prime example for too much homework. According to a 2013 study called Is Too Much Homework Bad for Kids' Health by Sandra Levy, students who participate in the study reported doing slightly more than 3 hours of homework each night on average. This amount of time goes over the recommended 2 hours of homework. This much homework is not beneficial to the students, and it also often causes health and social problems. Even elementary students have more homework than they should. According to another 2013 study, Is Too Much Homework Bad for Kids' Health by Sandra Levy, kids in early elementary school received about 3 times the amount of recommended homework, meaning they get about 30 minutes of homework compared to the 10 minutes they're supposed to get. It's pretty clear that students get way more homework than they're supposed to. To think that even elementary students get overloaded. Now that I've talked about the recommended time and the actual time students spend on homework, I'll talk about the negative effects it causes on the older and younger students. Overloading on homework can cause many negative effects on high school and elementary students, whether it be physical or social. High school students normally get affected the most from overloading on homework. According to a recent 2016 study by Stacy Winkonek called Is Too Much Homework Could Cause Negative Effects Emotionally on High Schoolers, high school students who get an average 3 hours of homework per night experience more stress, physical health issues, and lack of balance in their lives. It's pretty clear that high school students often have their homework affect their lives in some pretty bad ways. Elementary students may not be as bad for them as far as homework, but they do get affected. According to a 2015 study called Homework Could Have Negative Effects on Kids' Health, Should Schools Ban It? By Gerald K. Letendre, almost 10% of fourth graders worldwide reported spending multiple hours on homework each night. Globally, 1 in 5 fourth graders reported 30 minutes spending multiple hours of homework each night, or more, of homework and math 3 times a week. Also, according to that same study, empirical studies have linked excessive homework to sleep distribution, indicating a negative relationship between the amount of homework received and stress and physical health. It's sad to know that students get so affected by the overwhelming amount of homework they receive, regularly. Today I first talked about the amount of time students should spend on their homework. Then I talked about the amount of time they actually spend on their homework. And lastly, I talked about the negative effects of the homework. Homework causes negative effects on high school students and elementary students. In the end, it is painfully obvious to see that high school and even elementary students get way too much homework, which ends up in some negative effects on their social and physical lives.